Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is gonna be the top 8 from GenCon. If I sound a little hoarse, I just got back from GenCon. It's good. My brain's a little fried, but I wanted to get the top 8 out there. And before we jump into it, with all the competitive stuff of GenCon, maybe it'd be fun to take a little break. Over at the Sorcerer Summit, we are going to have the bottom 5 avatars event. It's going to be free to enter. It's going to have a cool promo, altar by Pietro, and it's free to enter. It's going to be 4 rounds, predetermined pairings. Anybody who goes 3 and 1 or better is going to go to a top cut. The bottom 5 avatars are Avatar Fire, Avatar Water, Templar, Witch, and Wave Shaper. So if that sounds interesting to you, come on over to the Sorcerer Summit. I will have that link in the description. I will also have the top 8 decks in the Sorcerer Summit, so come on over. Jumping into this, Peter Hansen, great Steam list here. He went 5 and 2, had the best 5 and 2 breakers, got 8th place. Jihad, Great Famine, and Atlantean Fate, all great auras. Four Waters of the Paradise here is a interesting one to include, but it gets Infernal Legion and Hydra, so very interesting there. Questing Beast was a great minion in my deck. I played Steam. I wished I played a little like heavier minions, but great work here on 8th place. Steam is very good, still very good. Playing water keeps your minions alive a little bit easier. Turn 2 Lug Bobcat off a pond is great. Minor Explosion is great for those little flyers from Avatar of Air, and is great removal. Mesmerism is a busted unique and a huge tempo play, especially in Druid with Tawny. You can Mesmerism basically anywhere as long as you got that threshold. So, nice job on top 8. All right, and then here's our first 6 and 1. A Pathfinder list made 6 and 1, so awesome job here. Jihad, again, great unique. Interesting minion count, a lot of one-ofs, so I'm not sure how that played out, but Patosian Cavalry is a charge minion that's great. 1 of Monstrous Line, 1 Boudica if things stick around, even if your avatar is running around, Boudica is great. Big old Ancient Dragon and Sir Pellinor and Infernal Legion, these big 6 and 7 drops, if they get uncontested, they just die. Immolation is a great removal spell, especially when you're in heavy fire. Infiltrate is a hard removal. There is some play around, but right now I would personally rather kill the minion, but Infiltrate is also really strong when water's around and you have a bunch of berries or some big minions, so maybe Infiltrate comes back a little bit more. Interesting here with the Iron Shackles, just remove something from anywhere, so pretty good there. And then if somebody spends a Dispel on it, I guess that's fine. Hopefully you've won the tempo game there. What else we got here? Phoenix is great into all the other red aggro. Dapper Vampire is huge now with the new rules changes. Theus is a great kill spell. And then also the crazy Pathfinder sites. So nice job on 6 and 1. And then we have Brandon Bibosi. He has a very interesting sorcerer list. First off, 55 spellbook, sir. We gotta help you out. I do know we got these down to 55. I think it was like 58 at one point, but great job on 6 and 1. Grim Gasarm is now going to be one of those, like, you gotta watch out for it. Grim and any decently sized minion is going to be very painful. Ring of Morgan and Trinket, very strong deck or combo there, and Trinkets help trade up so easily. Saracen Raiders, kill spells, attack on the back line, random pressure, excellent minion. Warhorse to move around, Violent with deserts to kill 3/3s. Leprechaun is one of the best minions right now. It deals damage, it can block, it can save damage, so saving damage is kind of like gaining life. It also draws a card, so if somebody plays a Violent or trades into this somehow, it replaces itself so easily. You can Kettletop Leprechauns are better than people think they are. I play 3 or 4 of them in every single Earth. Any deck that plays Earth. Slumbering Giantess is a great one, especially against all the flipped Druids. You just if they're like stepped up for some reason, you play Giantess and poof, you got a 5/5. So that's pretty good. Warp Spasm, Gigantism, another more like poof, out of nowhere. You could take 10 or 12. Infiltrate, again, removal from anywhere. Peasants Revolt, you'll notice in the sites here, most of these are ordinary or exceptional. Red Deserts and Vile Imps, Bedrocks for Peasants Revolt. Like, Peasants Revolt can be a very backbreaking card for a lot of decks to go against. Common Sense, get Dispels and Berries. Common Senses are great earth splashes for sure. Also playing the Great Famine for some more hard removal. You'll notice in these higher 6-1s, a lot of them are playing 4 and 5s everywhere. So like Fire Bolts and Lightning Bolts are still good, but they're not as ubiquitous as they once were. All right, and here we have our very own CJ. I'll leave a link in the description for the No Land Beyond live stream where you can see him piloting this deck. He did end up adding the new Water Dragon. Probably one of the more playable minions. I know the Air Earth one where like berries things could be really good too, but 7 mana is a big cost. But at least this guy comes down, kills something, and then you have a 6/6. And you can do something with that. Grapple Shot out of nowhere. Mesmerism, again, like I said before, it can be off tawny and it just blows somebody out. Shapeshift is really good, again, with this new dragon, because if you shapeshift into the dragon, it still works because it's at the end of the turn trigger instead of a Genesis effect. Green Knight for all the aggro stuff. Green Knight just eats them alive. Hydras, I think, are now one of the best minions. I think it's right up there with Infernal Legion. It might be better than Infernal Legion because it's just so hard to remove. Ruler Thule and Captain Baldassar after Shapeshift are backbreaking. Again, you can see over here, Grimgus Arms. Again, you got to watch out for these things now. They're going to deal you 10 and 12 and 15 out of nowhere. A Grim versus a vampire with a trinket, that's 10 damage. They get 10 life. It is just backbreaking. Lantern Fate and Black Plague, again, great auras, great removal cards. Drums of Doom, a flipped druid, can just kind of like win. You can't come close to them, you can't touch them until you deal with Drums of Doom. So great job on 6-1, CJ. And here is Rue, Joey. So he doesn't play much online, but I've seen him at a lot of events. So great job on 6-1. Avatar of Air is a very tricky deck to play against if you don't have a lot of practice against it. It can be very hard to play against. You feel like you're getting attacked from anywhere. You can see here they are also playing Grimgus Arm, and in this one, Mask of Mayhem. Mask of Mayhem is a very frustrating card to deal with. But it's almost better in this Avatar Swarm deck. You see every single card here has Airborne, and it makes these things so hard to remove and attack and defend profitably, and that's the power of all these Airborne minions. Hounds is hard to, you can't just bury it, you need to deal damage to it. Dapper Vampire, again, one of the best minions now. Hippogriffs and Hast Eagles, these might not seem like great minions, but they can attack anywhere and you can't defend very nicely. You have to play your sites very differently in where you can set up good defense lines. Castle Haunts is an interesting one, but in Constructed, a lot of people are playing Elites and Unique, so 3 mana 4/4 is pretty good. And then with Mask, you can play Mask on your opponent's side into your minions' hands, and you get to choose where you attack. And with all these airborne stuff, you can kind of choose where to go. Chaos Twister in person, if you practice, you can get a really good 2-for-1, remove something, deal damage, so really strong there. Playing Sinkholes for like that tempo play. If you're on the play, turn 3 Sinkhole, hit their second site, and you play another, like you hit a 2 mana 2/2, you hit a 3 mana thing, you remove their site, they're back to 1, and you have 2 minions on board. It is hard to deal with. Bottomless Pits are still here. They might not come up as much, but when they do, they're really good. Bower of Bliss, you're you're just it turns off so many mortals that are really good in this in the decks. So a really interesting list. I honestly might pick up some Avatar of Air tempo stuff. This is looks very annoying to deal with. All right, and then we have Astariel Casey with his Avatar of Air, a different style list. This is going all in on the big one-shots with these big Earth minions. Playing Grim Gasarms, big surprise there, and then Gigantism and Grapple Shots. Any two of these cards combined is poof, you're dead. Phalanx is Pudge Butchers with Double Strike, deal 10, and you have another flyer somewhere dealing 3 to you, so maybe you've taken two hits from that, so you're at 14, and then he plays a Pudge Butcher, you can't remove it, and you go, ah, dang it, but you remove his 3/3, so sweet, but then he can push this Pudge Butcher around with Avatar of Air, and then Grim Gasarm it, and now you're at 4 out of nowhere on turn 5, maybe. Like, it is so... any minion on board is now a huge, huge threat. Sir Galahad, 6 toughness means Chaos Twister doesn't kill itself, and the only way to remove this is probably Bury and some other hard removal. So 5 toughness is hard to do, 6 is worse, and then 7 is just like good luck. Whirling Blades is another one of those like big blowout cards if you leave a minion on board. Earthquake is you kill anything you need, and then you steal one of their sites to attack, and they can't defend it nicely. Onyx Core for more Earth Threshold. Ring of Morgan, and only one Taurus Hammer Trinket, which is interesting, but I'm sure these 2 Grim Gasarms used to be trinkets. And again, Rolling Boulder with Avatar of Air can be very tricky. Might not come up all the time, but when you have it, it feels good. So, nice job on 6-1. All right, and now we get into the second place finisher. I'm going to mispronounce this, Funfrup, or Pascal. And he brewed this one up and played 10 hours on Wednesday, practiced it to the nth degree, going through the minions here. Again, Leprechaun is a huge card. It's one of the best Earth minions, I think. Warhorse for some movement, and random aggro. Root Spider for some control. He did say he was like kind of a control list, with Root Spider and Poison Ovas and Lava Flows and Earthquakes and like these hard removal cards, which are really strong. Sir Morian here, probably got some use out of projectiles, honestly, with grapple shots and things to play around that. Phalanx is, again, 5/5s, and second place here. Grim Gasarms, they're so good. You're going to be hit for 10, and you're going to go, ouch. I shouldn't have let that minion live, or even sometimes not, even playing a blocker isn't good enough. Just that turn cycle back and forth, you can't interact, and they play Grapple Shot or Shatter Strike or some way to remove your blocker that you need there to not get doored, and then you just go, well, I guess I'm dead. Autumn Unicorn with a Trinket and Grim is 10. Pudge Butcher with a Trinket is 12. Yellow Knight, he said, was a great defense card for him. He played in back row, and they can't really attack with anything on that front sight. And if you have a defensive sight to the left or right, or another blocker, or some other thing there, Yellow Knights can be pretty good. Some Kobolds and Deserts, remove all those 3/3s, or Close some Kobolds with Trinket and Desert removes 4/4s, so that's really strong there. Dragonets, probably for the other anti-druid stuff. Yeah, great list, great brew. Nice job on second place. Watched the finals. It was a great game, back and forth, huge draws off the top. Could have gone either way. So be on the watch out for the main Sorcery channel to have that out at some point in the future. So again, second place. Nice job. Great to meet you all the way from Europe. Wonderful time. And here we got the finals, the main, the guy who created in the first place, Duo, Hot Springs. You can find it on the experience share where he talked about it. It is a heck of a deck. He's the originator of Hot Springs. You can blame him for this Steam meta. So, again, amazing finals. Great job on first place. Going through the minions here. Polar Explorers being the little cheeky one here. It's just like a mini ruler tool. You can set up turns with flipped Bruin and really, really beat your opponent on the back row. It hurts. Red Cap Poweries for just that general charge, aggro. Lugbog Cats off of pawns on turn 2 is just like, can you remove it? It's a removal check. Circuit Harris is an interesting one. I ended up cutting this one for, I think, a Phoenix. The untap doesn't really do anything for me, but self-same for copying some other big minion. Manticore. I wish I had played Manticore in my list. I was a little more low to the ground, and I missed an extra 5/5 in my list. Questing Beast is a big one. That's stealth plus Grim plus Trinket. There was one game when I hit somebody for 12 and they were at 18. I got them down to 6 and I was able to like win from there. Really aggressive list. Steam is really strong still. Geyser is for anti-root spider. Plague of Frogs with trinkets, and Ruler Thule is really strong. Lava Flow is one of the best removal cards, I think. It's right up there with Poison Oath for me. You got to be very careful on how you play your minions. Don't be in a line. Lava Flow off of Tawny is really strong. Lava Flow is a kill spell, unlike Poison Nova. Lava Flow is really, really good. Disintegrates off of Tawny is really strong. Polymorphs off of Tawny are really strong. He has a good number of hard removal things like Atlantean Fate. Really good list here. I can't wait to talk to you about the deck and the evolution of it. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. And again, if Bottom 5 Avatars event sounds fun, come on over to the Sorcerer Summit. We'd love to have you. I'll see everybody there.